Hey, brother. Thanks, man. Merci d'être ici. C'est une journée de merde, mon homme, que je passe de ce temps-là. Ah, je te le dis. Hey, t'as-tu entendu, mon frère? Léaus, le soleil. Le soleil, comme que tu sais, toi aussi, tu suis le soleil. Sorry, I can't stay. Ben, no problem, brother. Do my errands, but I'll be there on the late show. T'es super cool, même d'avoir pris le temps de venir dire bonjour, man. Have a good one. Puis soit. Ah, ben, on est bon. La route est bonne, on est correct. Pat in the house. Thank you. Good Friday, Moonmaster. Thank you so much. Merci, Elias. Later, brother. So much is going on, Pat. So much is going on. We have lots of things. We got the sun now. There's a piece of the sun that actually detached itself. It's getting a little scary because it's actually the photosphere, which is what they call the surface. Sometimes it's a chromosphere, but the photosphere, that's the part of light that we can see. And there's a convective part, there's the radiative part, and there's the core inside, and we don't know what's happening. But Earth's core has stopped, man. It's literally stopped, but it's not something that stopped today. Apparently, it's been slowing down and probably started stopping around 2009. And Michio Kaku, whatever, the guy, I call it the scientist that doesn't believe in aliens, starting to change his story a little bit. And apparently, whether it be true or not, just repeating what Michio Kaku said, that it happens every 70 years. It would have happened in 1970 also. So, it's not necessarily that when something happens to the core, oh my God, Earth's core is stopping. So then a whole bunch of videos of people are going to come out of lies. And I'm not talking about people's theories. If somebody makes a theory and says, I believe the earth is going to end because the core is stopping, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a theory. That's how I look at it, right? Flat earth, round earth, it's all theory. Science is a theory. We never know what's going on. But this is serious because it's never before been seen, and it caused a vortex at the northern pole of the sun. We don't even know if it's still going on. It happened. It was massive. So a massive ejection from the sun, I would say more of a solar flare that happened, a large solar flare. And the minute the solar flare left the surface of the photosphere of the sun, it was picked up, and you could see it dragged off really quickly just beside it over to the northern pole. And it just started turning around, this massive fire NATO that was turning around. Scientists are baffled by it. Where I get excited is when scientists say, what the hell is going on, right? Aside from that, they have theories. They have they use mathematical equations, physics, heliophysics to study the sun. And that's what gives them my shoulder. That's what gives them getting old. That's what gives them their answers, but they're not necessarily spot on or right about anything. It's just theories. Look at their theories about the rings, Saturn's rings and rings around Neptune, Jupiter, and all the planets, 4 or 5 now that have rings. The theory of how these rings were formed around Saturn is losing ground a lot. And that's how it is. Theories come out in science. They'll linger around 4, 5, 10, 15, 25 years. And then we see another event occur in space that tells people that, no, maybe they weren't really, really right about that and about what's going on. Project Veritas, we have a lot of these truth-seeking channels and brave reporters. One of them, James O'Keefe, had recently leaked a video of, how could I call it? Very feminine Pfizer director that gets caught in a restaurant talking about mutating shit, right? And then, James O'Keefe gets paid leave from Project Veritas. And so keep your eyes open for Project Veritas. Hopefully they're not going to turn on us. Hopefully they're not going to be bought off by the corrupt left. We'll see what happens. But when things like that happen in truth-seeking media websites, it's not a good sign. But the good thing is that the truth is coming out. And basically what he did, and it's Jared, that director, I don't think he'll be there anymore. He said he was lying also when he had said that. But these psychotic people are the ones that are in charge of the world, and they're just speaking out like there's nothing they have to hide and everything. So you have to wonder why the hell those things are occurring. James O'Keefe, if you don't know him, You have to look up his most recent interview, if you want to call it an interview. Thank you, Crazy Music Space Jam. That's Elias Valhata's other channel. And he's got his music set up there. You guys can check out his channel too. Fish Face in the house. Good afternoon, Bruce, Jen. Thanks for coming back, you guys. Hoax. Happy Friday to you too. Going back up here because, of course, I'm always missing everyone. Thanks again, Pat. And Pat says Trudeau's a dink. Yes, he definitely is a dink with a C, holding us a hostage with digital UD. Yes, if the province wants. It's scary stuff. Like, I don't want that crap. I hope people are really going to wake up. It's just everything's going on behind their backs, actually in front of our faces. And, you know, you talk to a neighbor about it, neighbor's like, oh, come on. You know, people are really asleep. The government knew that was going to happen. You knew most people would be on their sides. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Peter Benton. From 6 p.m. here, lol. Hope you are doing well. The weather can be such a pain in the ass. It's horrible, man. It's destroying my chances of obviously of getting the sun. Pain in the ass when you're trying to get some decent footage of the moon or the sun. You will get it soon enough, mate. Yes, thank you very much. I set up yesterday, day before yesterday, actually, sorry. I think it was the day before yesterday, really quickly outside at 9:15. So the moon a couple of days ago was not quite full. Obviously, the full moon went by, but it was getting a little smaller, and now we're at the end of the phase. 3/4 of a moon. It still lingers for a couple of days after. Optical illusion, they say this still looks full, no matter what. I stayed out from 9:15 till midnight. And midnight, I was still outside, and it had still not risen through the freaking tree. One tree in front, just sitting there, gliding itself upwards and over to the right in the tree, you know? So here comes 1:30, and the moon is 3 to 5 minutes from being cleared from the bottom friggin' branches that are still going like this over the moon, which it's taking it out of focus. Simultaneously, I swear to you, the cloud arrived just at that line, and as it's coming up into the clouds, and I look around, I said, what the hell? Clouds all over the whole sky. There was not one cloud out. And when I say not one cloud out, there was not one cloud. There was no wind. It wasn't humid. It was warm. It was almost 8 degrees. I said, I'm going to get some hella good footage. I even advertised it in the community saying, I am outside. I slapped the biatch on the top, the optical head on my telescope, and I'm outside putting on the weights. I'm charging the batteries, and it didn't happen. But I'm still all charged up, and it's going to eventually happen at one point. But like Peter says, it's the worst thing. When I bought my telescope, the 14-inch, with the community, what happened is we were 2.5 to 3 months, no moon, nothing, wasn't even able to try the telescope. It was cold the other day, minus 15 degrees. I don't go out when it's minus 20 with a telescope. I have a couple of times. It's a big regret, afraid to crack and destroy my mirrors and everything. And we'll have plenty of time to be able to see that moon. Hopefully before they apply the lunar dust, like Bill Gates wants to do with his space bubbles. You do a Google fact check. I said it last stream. You do a Google fact check, and they'll say that's not true. Gates does not want to block out the sun rays or reflect the sunlight back. No, of course not. Yes, they do. There's even a project doing it. Even though the country, I know the town projects to try to apply chalk. You must have heard it. The space bubbles, the robots apply chalk. And now, most recently, I heard they want to apply a lunar dust. And this is all gathered information from the last 3-4 days where I do this every time before coming on the stream. I spend 2, 3, sometimes 4 hours looking at the space news. Lots of satellite this, satellite that, satellite this. Europe's going up to the moon in 2027 for furnishing certain satellites. They're making deals, you know. Lots of people are joining NASA, you know, to be able to get out to the surface of the moon. Is it going to be set back? I'm telling you, leading up to 2025, solar sun cycle 25 that we are in, the sun will be at its peak in 2025. We saw it ramp itself up from 2021 to 2022, even worse. And now, even worse now. It's not the fact that it's just worse. There's things happening on the sun. They have no idea why they are occurring. Betelgeuse 219 lost all of its chromosphere. It exploded and created this mass and billions of pieces. Obviously, you can imagine an explosion from a star, especially it wasn't very small, Betelgeuse, very large star, right? The star closest to our planet is our sun. So something can happen to it, and something is happening to it. Maybe as the poles are shifting there, they're shifting here. It's not done in one day, right? Like Rome takes a couple days to build it. Well, the same thing with the sun. But the eventuality of what's going to happen is that when it hits, it's in 24 hours, we are going to see a devastating attack, EMP attack, electromagnetic pulse attack. It doesn't just come from foreign countries or adversarial countries. We have the countries that can give us a blackout EMP attack, China, Russia, and we can worry about the sun giving us an EMP attack too. And people don't realize how much of a gamble it is. Nobody ever, obviously, when they're not, neither did I, when you're not studying the sun, you're not going to go look, oh, is there a sunspot this morning on the sun? Okay, there is. Okay. Is it facing Earth? Oh, it is. Okay. Is it big? Is it an active sunspot? Lots of people are talking about that, but online, people don't talk about those things. They'll say, did you see what happened on the sun? Because of those images, people put up the images. They look at the coronal mass ejection. Wow, it's really impressive. But there's never an outcome of what happens, right? And when you get a chance to see it with your own eyes, especially with the equipment I have, and not big equipment, it's a regular camera, guys, 16 megapixels, P900, what I'm showing in the sun videos, and they're incredible, the sun videos. We can see them really, really well. Imagine when I do that with 80 megapixel cameras and get in really, really close and slow that down so that we can see what's happening. The slower you slow down the video, the more you see exactly what's happening. Hoax, happy Friday to you too. Thank you very much. Thanks again, Jen. Janine, salut à toi, merci. C'est bien apprécié. Gary, how's it going, man? We have Yann, Luca, merci. Bonjour à toi, Yann. Merci, mon frère. Thanks, brother. Joel, thanks for coming back, man. Easy, bro. Hope you are well. It is an amazing time to be alive because there's so much going on. I'm good. I'm hyped. I wish there was more sky. I wish I had more sun videos, more UFOs at night, but it's all part of the work. That's how it is. I went almost 3.5 to 4 months at one point that I wasn't able to get infrared videos of the UFOs. Last night I went out. There was a tiny clearing. I looked up in the clearing. I saw a UFO up in the sky. I asked it to flash, and it flashed. I got hyped again. It happens every single time. And I get lots of videos of them. So it's going to happen again. They're going to come back. Later, brother. Merci, Léos. MC Pelletier, dans la maison. Ben, merci, MC Pelletier. Happy to see you all. Same here. Thanks for coming by. So cool, you guys. Ben, good evening to you too. Marie-Donne, I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. Bien, merci beaucoup d'avoir pris le temps d'écrire en anglais. C'est le fun de changer de langue. Essayer d'écrire puis d'apprendre. Tu peux apprendre un mot, tu peux apprendre une petite phrase par semaine. C'est ça que je fais pour essayer d'apprendre l'espagnol. C'est pas évident. C'est vraiment pas évident. Orfeo Treshola is back in the house. Thanks for coming back. We simply are not the level to understand the interior of the earth. That's 100% confirmed. They don't know anything about the core. Michio Kaku that said the only way him and many other scientists, the only way they can look at the core is with, devices and x-ray machines or whatnot. And they have an idea. They can see movement inside. No one's ever seen the core. No one's ever gotten inside of the earth because they stopped boreholes and boring companies that drilled really deep into the ground. The deepest one, it started showing signs of a lot of heat, 80 degrees Fahrenheit, then 150 degrees Fahrenheit. So they stopped drilling it. I don't think it would be a very good idea drilling to the center of the earth. Lots of lies in that too. People say, oh, look, we hear voices inside the tunnels of people screaming and stuff. There's so many exciting things. Hey, Gary, thanks, man, that are happening that they don't have to lie about it. People don't have to make things more excessive. Like when the sun just detached a piece of the bloody sun has detached. No one's ever filmed this or even talked about it. And I'm already seeing a lot of lies. I got some people saying a piece detached from the sun and it's on its way to Earth for a straight hit, has 187,000 views. Now, obviously, I don't care about other channels, and I'd have to be a little nut, troll nut. It's beyond being a troll. If I started going to the channels and saying, liar, liar, there's no facts, there's no, that's all we do is we fight about everything all the time. You go to a channel and some guy has some eccentric theories or something, you don't appreciate them, it doesn't mean he's right. It's like me here with my theories of what I'm seeing on the moon. We know someone's there, something's there. We just don't know who or what it is. And I'm not going to confirm it. People say maybe it's not aliens, Bruce. Totally possible. Could be humans. As a matter of fact, I think we are the aliens, and all these planets that are out there in the solar system, definitely probably the humans that are on it running the show. Maybe we're all over the universe. They're talking recently about what babies will look like and what the effects. I'm sure some of you have heard some news also about the effects on our body and the changes in our DNA when we are in space. Space changes us. They're still not able to conclude. We're like Ortheo Tresula. We're in the beginning of time. We are in the beginning of time with science. From the year 1600s to the year 2000, for us, it's many thousands of years, right? But in reality, it's at the beginning of time. First 10, 20, 30,000 years, million years. How long have we been primitive? It takes a long time for us to evolve and everything. Speaking of evolution, you guys should look into the different types of civilizations and beings that they say supposedly are out there with the Kardashev scale. It explains that beings can be a type 1, type 2. We're not even a type 1 yet. We're trying to become a type 1 civilization. And for us to reach a type 2 civilization, it's going to take many hundreds of years, if not maybe even 1,000 years. Michio Kaku was saying hundreds of years. I think more thousands of years. It depends. And they base the scale on how much control a civilization has over its celestial sphere that it lives on, its planet or star, and the stars around it and the galaxies around it. So some people, type 1 civilization, like we're almost becoming, understanding Earth itself and using the magnetism and the energy from Earth to do what we want. And Orfeo Treshola, like he says, we're not there yet. We really are not there yet. This is like totally primitive civilization that we live in. The advancement from the 1800s to the year 2000 now, there's not much difference. We still have radios, we still have the television, and we still have just the electricity. It's all that's been invented. They're adding on to that by changing the vehicles and cars and motors and changing the planes and the Wright brothers. Nothing changed. It's not really impressive to think that, I was born in 1975 and just, 65, 70 years before that, they invented the first plane. Holy crap. We're living in a primitive civilization. Very, very primitive. People say aliens are so advanced and they're more advanced than us. What if they're not? What if we're the ones, the badasses that are advanced, and every other civilization is far from being a type 1 civilization? Like we're at we're like a 0.9 right now, maybe 0.9777777. We're not at the 1% yet civilization type 1. Maybe the aliens are not even advanced as us, maybe not even half advanced as us. Merci, MC. Thank you, MC. Good evening to you too, Meridan. We're simply not at the level to understand the interior of Earth, especially not the interior of Earth. But it's interesting to see that they're finding out that something's going on. Peter, thank you so much, brother. Thanks, man. Off to Kelly's now. Catch up in an hour, guys and gals. Kelly said, hi, everyone. Hello, Kelly. Hello, Peter. Love you guys and be safe. And I hope to see you guys a bit later. Thanks for the incredible support, Peter, as always, man. Thank you very much. Watch Woman of the Dragon is here in the house. Sammy M. Hey, you guys. Yes, sir, Yann. Mon petit café, moi aussi. Well, thank you very much. I'm doing very good. I'm doing very well. How are you, Marie? C'est pas la fin du monde apprendre l'anglais, hein. Un coup que tu apprends une couple de phrases, là, on répète toujours les mêmes choses. Même si on ne comprend pas la langue, si tu vas écouter en espagnol, quand j'étais en train d'apprendre l'espagnol, puis c'est continuellement les mêmes mots qu'on entend. C'est juste des apprendre. Sammy M, thanks again for coming here. Hey, the real stats is in the house. How is our great smasher, gate smasher, hoorah! Floyd, hope you guys are well. Still got the bloody allergies. The eye's still bad. Weather is weird here. It's like 6-7 degrees. The snow almost all entirely melted. All the roofs here are scrapped, damaged. Big trees are down. That was only the difference in temperatures. Those of you in Quebec know that, we'll get a cold period and then it cools down. Things start to melt because we have some sun anyways, even on cold days. But now the sun's missing. The sun is missing. So what would it do blocking out the light? Easy. Every single snowstorm that anyone in Quebec and Canada and the States or anywhere in the world would have, even Texas, if there's no sun and you get snow there, it could take a hell of a long time. You'd be surprised, my friends in California or Texas, how long the snow will last there, even if it's 30 degrees the next day. The snow piles in Montreal are there till June. I've seen it as far as July at one point. Still those piles that are, still melting. Thank you, Julie, for being here. Marcos, how's it going, my friend? Hi, Bruce. Look at this shot of the moon. Beautiful. Wow. Just awesome. I don't know what the moon is anymore. I don't see it anymore. Hey, same to you, Colton. Thanks a lot, man. Absolutely. You guys can leave your questions here. Thank you so much, Julie. Of course, thanks for the kindness, you guys. And we have another stream, like Julie says, at 8 p.m. this evening. You guys can check out the Real Stats channel. Also, Julie has an awesome channel if you like animals. And if you're curious about beautiful Florida settings and boats and stuff, she has some amazing videos. Gate Smasher Ura, her better half, is also there. You got to find this channel. He's always here. My friend Gate Smasher. Thank you so much, Julie. Harry Bear is in the house. Tin Hao. I can say hello. I can say that much. Hello, Harry Bear. I can't. Oh, I see UFO there. That's another language I'd have to learn. Chinese. To speak Chinese. Mix Mayhem. How's it going, brother? How's the eye doing? Still a little bad. Of the Bruce Nation, yes. Anyone hears from our dear Darla? Yeah, she got operated a couple days ago. And then now she's going to be on the mend. It'll be many weeks, probably. A long time till she comes back on to be comfortable on the internet. It could be tomorrow, but I feel it's going to be a long time, probably. So here, the thing is that our hospital systems here are, I'm going to say it, they're shit, crap, absolute crap. No personnel, nobody's there. I wonder why. Wonder why everyone's disappearing. Scott Robinson, how's it going, man? From Australia. Blessings to you too. Thanks, Gene. Yeah, boy. Damien Honor, hello, Bruce and team. Love your posts. Keep up the great work. It means a lot, Damien. I appreciate that. That's why I keep doing them, because you guys are so supportive of the channel, and I really appreciate that. Yeah, Peter has lots of moon and sun. Also, he gets castles, and he goes on trips of certain areas, and he films and shows every part of the town. And some really awesome, cool castles that he's often getting. Margaret Leach is here. How's it going, Margaret? Nice to see you, as always. When I go on search, I'm kicked. When I go on my game, I'm kicked. Yeah, lots of problems are happening for some people, and some more than others also. By the way, the sun has affected radio communications and devices, and this was like the 4th, the 5th, the beginning of February. Some things did happen on the sun. We have some more bloody space debris. This is a second time that a debris field is formed from a Russian rocket that's already up there for the formed debris a while back. We'll talk about that later too. And they're destroying space and all the missions that are to come. They're saying it's going to cause a great deal of pollution. So they're working for their own needs, right? They're getting out there to find what they want. We'll deal with the pollution later. And just, I mean, this is ridiculous. The debris field, the Russian debris field, is 1,000 kilometers over your head, guys. Look up. Look up. If you have an infrared camera at night, you're going to be seeing some pieces going by, different objects, maybe out of shape objects. I found out for the first time when I was filming with the infrared camera, the way to find the difference between something that's a UFO, a satellite, or debris. Satellite, UFOs, size is major difference. We're talking from pinpoint to big as a truck, right? With the UFOs and with the satellites. I don't even know if we can see many satellites, to be honest with you. But at 1,000 degrees with the infrared camera, that's going to cause a lot of debris. And debris, when I pick it up with the infrared camera, I know it's debris because I see it spiraling around. And I can actually film it spiraling around. So there's a lot of debris out there. There's hundreds of thousands of pieces as big as, a fingernail, all the way up to objects as big as, I think, a football field. Right? All these leftover boosters and rockets, they're all contaminated, filled with leaking chemicals. And this is what happened recently with NASA's rocket. Stop it, you idiots, you moronic idiots, destroying, polluting outside of our Earth. The aliens are gonna kick your asses. The aliens are coming for you guys. NASA, and all you dark project people that are out there in space, you guys are gonna get visits. From space, not from me. From space, for sure. No one's going to let the Earth be destroyed, and they don't want nuclear here. That's what I believe. Thank you so much, Julie. Donna Caulfield, thank you. Are there pictures of sun breaking off and the vortex? Yes, absolutely. If I'm not mistaken, it would be the scientists, maybe possibly NASA. I would go to a place like space.com, maybe spaceweather.com. They've showed it. It's an image. You can see on the top left side of the sun that there's a solar flare, coming off, and it just immediately takes off and creates a vortex around the whole top of the sun. I saw a couple of pictures. Pretty scary stuff. Thanks, Julie. Star Hunter, greetings from the beautiful Rogue Valley. Thank you so much. Star Hunter in the house. Oui, Kazoo, ben oui. Yeah, he's freezing. Kazoo a très, très froid. Kazoo a tellement froid à cause qu'il a fait moins 36 l'autre jour. Mais l'hiver est quasiment fini ici. Basically, winter's over here in Canada. The cold winter is over. We're done. We're going to be going up to 3 degrees, 6 degrees, 8, 12, 15, 20 degrees. I don't believe we're going to be getting any more snow, except for the freak accidents, because that's basically the weather patterns are unpredictable. Meteorologists can no longer predict with efficiency, which they never really have 100% efficient, right? Be able to predict what's happening, because there's a lot to take into consideration when deciding what's going to go on with the weather. The sun, when the sun is active, well, it controls whether it's active or not. It controls all volcanic activity. It's the mother. It's the one that controls all volcanic activity. When you see volcanoes reacting suddenly for some reason here, well, don't wonder why. It's the sun. I'm not going to lie. Apparently, when the sun is extremely aggressive in the past, the volcanic activity has always been very low here. But it's changing. Not only that, they have different predictions for the solar cycle 25 and what's to come. Leading up to 2025, the sun is going to be at its peak. And scientists are saying it's just saying, because that's what they do. They theorize, they assume assumptions. They come up with, based on physics and mathematical equations and heliophysics and whatnot, all the fields that tell them what's going to go on, that the sun is dying. But when the sun's dying, it gets very active. This is what they're not saying. They say, oh, the sun's dying down. Yeah, what's it going to do when it's dying down? It's going to push out a whole bunch of radiation. There's a lot coming now to Earth, the radiation, even though we have the magnetosphere that holds back the radiation. We have a problem. The magnetosphere not often, that's not true, but has very recently gone down. There was a hole in the magnetosphere. Some radiation and, quick moving particles from the sun entered our atmosphere and caused pink auroras at the poles here on Earth. We're going to be seeing a lot of that, like the Carrington event, 1859, when the sun exploded. The miners woke up at 3 or 4 in the morning thinking it was daytime because it was sunny out. It was bright and it had all these colors in the sky. They must have wondered what the hell was going on back then. 1962 is it's fish. It's a project. That was the first time they found out that EMPs existed by blowing up hydrogen bomb or whatever, big nuke at so many miles up in the air, because that's the only way, the easiest way for them to attack us is to launch something in orbit. Quite simply, you launch something in orbit, a big massive explosion, and then that causes the blackout and it destroys everyone's devices. So you can imagine the mayhem that would occur after that. Thank you, Julie. Yeah, I always try to get to everyone, and I can't, but I'm trying. Let's jump it up here. Yeah, they say it happens all the time, but listen, happens once every 70 years. Happens all the time without them knowing what happens when it happens. And I think we're witnessing that right now, that it affects absolutely everything. It's affecting our weather. It's affecting, the water's going down too quickly. The things are not normal. All the rivers and lakes at the same time, Lake Mead, the Jordan, Nile. It's been a while. It's coming back. Everything's going to change and flip over. There'll be rivers where there were no rivers before. Earth is alive, eh? You're walking through the desert in the middle of the afternoon, no lakes or water around you, and all of a sudden you just see this flash flood coming around the corner. I mean, Earth is alive. So many things happening that people have no idea. Not enough studies have been done for all that. Guten Abend from Germany. Hey, yeah, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate that. Has the sun given an EMP in the past that they blamed another country for it instead? Absolutely. Not wanting people to know its true source. Yeah, absolutely. In 1989, here when the ice storm hit here, that's what happened. It took out our grid. It cost us close to $1.2 billion to be able to put all the towers back up. All the transformers were destroyed, and it took out, Hydro-Quebec for as long as 3.5 months in Coteau Landing and Coteau du Lac here in Quebec, not far away. That's what it did, an EMP attack. So, and there's different ways that EMP from the sun can attack it. There's 3 ways, apparently. You have an attack from the sun where it can affect the lines and the transformers, through lightning. Lightning is another EMP attack because lightning does attack, and that's not from the sun. It's just lightning, right? So the first one from the sun, second one, lightning can cause an EMP, meaning it causes death. Sometimes rescue missions are affected because of the communication devices that have problems working. And there's the sun, the EMP attack from the sun. It all has to do with low and high frequencies, low frequency long ranges, high frequency short ranges. It's hard to understand, but it's also the way that the sun can attack us. And one of those from the sun would black everything out. So imagine it blacking everyone's lines and transmitters around the world. It's not just a matter of going dark and coming back up. They would have to rebuild all of that. So we already need something to protect us from the grid going down. We need a secondary something to turn to the minute that happens, because all communication will be lost. No more satellites, no more GPS, complete blackout, even during the war. You know, everyone during the war will not be able to, well, call this, will not be able to communicate either. That's for sure. I got some coffee grains in my teeth. Gamer Dudefer. Turfu. Bonjour, bonsoir, merci. Adam, thanks for being here, man. Yes, sir. So yeah, Jen, that was a really, really good question. But yeah, when that happened, we feared it was Russia. I heard that way back in 1989. So sometimes they make it up, sometimes they don't make it up. Look what they did for the Nord Stream, which now they're talking about it being the US that would have done all that, right? And got caught. Few seals went down for a little swim, and then boom, that's what happened. American seals. Maybe even some Navy SEALs. Maybe even SEAL Team 10. I'll leave it at that. Margaret Leach, how's it going? Bruce, I spoke with my server Videotron, ask about EMP outages. Oh, that's a good question. For sun, they are okay. For other, he said we won't be around. Oh, really, eh? That's how it is. They're not worried about the sun, but they're going to be, because there's different attacks from the sun. I don't even think they would be familiar with that, Margaret. You probably know a lot more than what they know about it, but that's a good one. Thanks for sharing that. David's here. That's so kind, David. Absolutely. She went through a lot, went through hell, apparently. I still have many, many days that I haven't heard from her. Hopefully she will be back, sort of different here. And that's what happens. A lot of you guys have changes, in the families, and you mention it. We're a lot of people here, and it happens that in our family, shit happens, unfortunately, but that's how it is. Andy, how's it going? Thanks so much, Andy, from the UK. I appreciate that, man. There's lots that a lot of people haven't heard about, my friend. No, I've never heard of it. Never heard of Steam Devil. Sounds like is that like when you say Steam Devil, I just think of the Dirt Devil vacuum. Think of anything else. Orfeo Treshula, we're a little bit more worried here about reality, not little devils, right? We're worried here about what's going on. The people here know exactly in this community what's going on, and they're hiding the fact that there's another being around here on Earth, and that they're communicating with some of them. One of 36 intelligent civilizations out there in our galaxy. There are 33 to 36 of them, apparently. And but that's how it is. When you hear about Steam Devil and you turn around and say, "Oh my God, nobody's heard about it," it's because it mustn't be out very long, or maybe you just heard about it. I'm right beside Vermont. I could take a long bike ride to go there. So, but I didn't hear about any Steam Devils, because there's so much news out there. Yeah, the solar wind speed right now is 49. That's high. And the BZ, the Earth's magnetic angle, is -4. All these changes, it's getting really, really dangerous. I'm telling you guys. Pat, thank you so much, brother. Thanks, man. I learned English because I have clients at my work, that speak English. C'est cool, ça. Toujours le fun de savoir une autre petite partie d'une autre petite langue pour être capable de dire bonjour à quelqu'un qui parle une autre langue. Tu sais, c'est le fun. Comme la personne chinoise qui est venue ici tantôt. Ça fait 6 mois que j'attends pour dire ni hao. C'est bonjour. Elle ne demande pas rien d'autre. There are classes that limit the blue light that can cause eye irritation, may help you. Mark, yes, absolutely, 100%. And that's my last resort right now because I've mentioned it actually for the past few months. I just haven't gone to get them. I think I'm getting a lot, too much screen time. And obviously, here with the iMac Pro, the light's always really crazy bright. That's why I always turn it down. But thanks, Mark. That is definitely something that I confirm. Of course, yes, I am going to have to go get. Oh, that's interesting. Well, I'll tell you what. His Highness, how's it going, my friend from Ottawa? It's going to be some action there in 7 days. So I don't know about that, the tail from the sun, but I know something is that comet that went by. Every time a comet goes by or an asteroid goes by the back of the sun, it gets a tail and becomes a comet depending on its trajectory. So that's just something I heard the other day, and I was like, "What? What the hell?" So, but is there a tail from the sun? I wouldn't say no. Here's the thing. If you look up what sun dust is, right, like a lot of people do, is there dust around the sun? I want to go see if there's any dust around the sun. If you look it up, in reality, solar dust is considered a meteoroid. So when they say that there's a meteoroid that went by the space station last year and they had to move themselves over a couple of feet and come back, meteoroid, space dust, because there's a lot of it. Does the sun have a tail? I would say it. Like honestly, without knowing, just from based on what you said, I would believe obviously there would be. I think James Webb telescope, whether it be real or not, is showing us things or telling us certain things, not much, but things that we don't see on our own cameras. Like what's the name of it? I don't remember the name of it. They a couple days ago they found another planet inside of our solar system, but at the extremities of our solar system, a bit smaller than Pluto. It has a ring around it, so that they don't understand why it has a ring around it, because it's an area of the solar system where there should not be any rings around anything. The L3 or Lagrange area is the area where they want to release that space dust or chalk or whatever. So who says James Webb telescope is not there, or that Artemis 1 didn't do that? For me, I believe the Artemis 1, when they left and they went around the epicenter of the solar system, look that up. Look up what the epicenter of your solar system is. It's the friggin' sun, from its core to its chromosphere or photosphere, the outermost limits of it, inside of the corona. Why would they go there? Because they want to drop off some chalk or some dust. When they came back, Artemis 1, I'm not going to hide it. Look up the date, the exact date they came back, and remember your weather patterns. Zero sunlight, zero stars, zero moon since Artemis, the day they came back. Have not seen any celestial object except for once for 2.5 to 3 minutes the other day, which I posted something. Whoop, I got a telephone. Sorry, guys. Maybe an emergency. Hang on. Oh well, so sorry about that. It was actually a scammer calling. So yeah, it was an interesting one, man. About the tail around the sun. I don't think we know anything about our sun, or they know a lot, and they're not telling us about absolutely anything. That could very well be. Hugo, thanks for being here. Gary says, but what we were taught in school about the Earth's molten core, crust, mantle, etc. Yeah, it's retarded, Gary. It's ridiculous. And you talk about that, what you learned, you take out some of our old books, because I remember myself, it doesn't match what they're saying today about it. That's like back in the day when they used to say that the sun is stationary and the planets are rotating around this sun that's stationary. You look at Julius Caesar says, we are in the center of the universe and everything is turning around me. Yeah, well, we're still doing the same thing, looking up. Okay, well, they tell us the sun rotates, and then I start filming the sun and I realize it ain't rotating. The sun moves. You film the sun, there's a sun. All of a sudden, you're filming the sun. You go back 2 hours later, the sun's like that. Then you go back an hour later, and the sun's like this. And it's back up like that, and it's back down like that, and it goes like this, it goes like that, it goes like that. In one day, I've seen the sun go like this, and like this. So you're like, what's happening to the sun? A rotation would, you're expecting this, right? There's no perfect rotation. The Earth's in a slingshot rotation around the sun. Apparently, it's not just going slowly around the sun, right? We're being shot past the sun. We're coming back with the gravity and magnetism, flying back the other way. And that's what they say. We don't even know. Was number 2 waiting for the stream to start? And when it started, you were already sharing. Unreal, eh? I'm sorry about that, Norma. They go and get you guys and gals like 15 minutes into the stream. Before the stream is rare. So, but thanks so much for being here, Norma C. Schumann resonance shows the core, shows the screeching. Yeah, exactly. The core of the sun. Sun has 3 parts. It has the core. You have the radiative over top of the core, and then you have the convective, which is, chromosphere, photosphere, the outside area, which literally looks solid, right? I don't think anyone's going through the sun because they probably blow up, is the way I see it. Thank you, mods. Andy P's in the house from Slovenia. Stay good. Thank you so much. Hello, Andy P. Thank you very much. Fascinating to hear what you share about the storm around the north of the sun. Yes, and fascinating and extremely scary, because they have no idea why it did that. They never saw it before. They didn't see any other star doing that. So it's obviously things that happen, Josie or Jossie, Maine Coon, thank you for being here again from New Zealand. Got some good people from New Zealand. We have Evelyn Saba that's from New Zealand. I have a couple people here from New Zealand. Welcome in, guys. Thanks. Anika, Child of Thoth in the house. How's it going? Hello. Thank you. Orfeo is going to tell us about, the steam devil. Primarily haunts doctors of atmospheric science. It was known to dance provocatively, usually upon where least expected. I think I have heard a little bit about that. Steam devil. I will. I promise to look it up. Orfeo Trishula. Let me see here. Do. Come on, Bruce. Moving on up. So, hey, guys, thank you so much for coming in. We always have some interesting subjects that we talk about. There's so much going on, let alone my research. If you're just getting into the stream or it's your first time here, I got real UFOs on the moon. I am so tired of the clickbait guys on YouTube. That's all I'm getting. I'm looking right now. It is disgusting. Disgusting. Breaking news this. breaking news that NASA said this, NASA said that. You go look on the website, there's nothing that they're talking about at all. It always gets me so mad. But that's how it is. That is how it is, unfortunately. Let's see here. What did I want to do? Nope, 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 nope. Always having problems with this damn computer. Whatever, doesn't want to. Okay. Yeah, that's exactly it, Mark. We keep falling because of greed. It's the fight. Like we could have become type 1 in the beginning of the 1900s, but it's all those freaking wars that we have every 20 to 30 now, not only 50 years, 100 years. We've seen how many wars. I was born in 75. Vietnam had just finished. And another war started, and you have the Gulf War started, and everything, I mean, Operation Sand Dune or whatever, all these wars that we live through, they're continually fighting, and not us. We're not the ones that fight. They say people are bad. No, 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 no. The ones in Parliament here in Canada and in the States and Congress that we're actually seeing them like children now, standing up, banging on their desks, blocking people from talking. It's a real joke. While people are suffering all around them, they're in there having chit chats, shooting the breeze, talking about something. Hey, muchas gracias. Cheers from Buenos Aires. Thank you so much, Marcos. Surely type 1 civilizations don't keep people ignorant and in the dark about our own home and God-given abilities. Imagine, Jen, it would be too good to be true that, we all got along together. I think it started out like that. Everyone got along together. And like in any music group, music groups with 3-4 people, there's always someone fighting in the group. And that's how it is. I don't think they ever agreed on anything or everything or anything, the elites, the Bilderberg groups and Bilderberg meetings that happen all the time, every year or 2 or 3, where they talk about ways of controlling the world and just changes. And, not a lot of people at all know that those meetings go on. Not a lot of people know who goes to those meetings. When you look up the list of the names of people going to those meetings, you understand really quickly what's going on, that there's the dark cabal that is literally ruling the earth. But we're only living in a primitive civilization because the government, who invent amazing stuff. Jossie, absolutely right about that. 100%. You can't invent stuff. You can't invent free energy machines and devices, and you cannot change the entire view of the world. Anybody who will be able to change the world's views against the government will be taken out or just be dead on YouTube like I am. Nick, how's it going, brother? KM is here. Steven's here. Without Nikola Tesla, we should have nothing. Exactly. Everything's based on Nikola Tesla, my friend Steven. You're absolutely right. And that's what we have here. Our whole grid system's based on his idea, right? Tesla coils probably right up on the moon doing the same experiments there so that they don't get caught. You can be sure of that. I believe it. And if I get off one more time, give me a second, y'all. And I'm back. Here we go. Every time I get off, I'll put the Jeopardy up music. That way you guys won't have to wait so long. Karen 18, thanks so much for being here. My eye is killing me. Havoc My Dimension. I love the name. Bruce, have you ever been to Chapleau, Ontario? The area rings a bell, but I don't think I have. Maybe I drove through it. I want to set up a weather cam for you to use. Listen, anytime any of you want to hook up that way, and you know, I mean, I'll shout out your channel. I'll shout out your work or whoever you are. That's a nice little project. Absolutely, you let me know. I appreciate that. Which is an amazing idea. Setting up the cameras with the weather cameras. That's just, you know, I have yet to set up cameras here around the house, and I will. We really are, Gary, at the bottom of the universal barrel. You're damn right about that. Thanks again, Stephen. Hello. Tesla created free energy and was murdered for it. I believe it. They say he died in his apartment with 1 cent to his name, but most likely. Oh, yes, they're coming back. Yes. And you know what? C'est moi qui te remercie, Marie. Merci infiniment. Yeah. Yes, WL. It'd be more like a 0.1, 0.00001, because we are not evolving. We're unevolving and not devolving, because it's not the same meaning. I looked it up. I said that the other day. We're devolving. Looked it up. It has nothing to do with becoming unevolved. They're coming all right, and they're going to be all over the world. You know, hopefully not like the Carrington event, but yeah, a little troubling. Michael's here. Hey, thank you so much, sir, for believing that. I think we're all chosen for something. From Moonbird, yo, Godspeed to all. Thank you so much, Michael, for being here, man. Thanks for the comments, bro. Here in New Z, we're going to be hit with a Category 3 cyclone tomorrow. Ooh, a bit nervous. Yeah, hang in there, Jossie. Or Josie. I think it's Jossie. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Let me know. And yeah, hang tight. It's the sun. Don't wonder why. The sun is going to ramp shit up really badly. There is my friend Gate Smasher Ura's channel. Big contributor to the channel. He's part of the team with the real stats. They're one item, so you guys can check out their channels at the same time. Thank you so much, Julie. Yeah, well, she was able to finish her operation, for those who don't know, Darla, and now she's back, still in her hospital room, and she'll probably be there for a little while. I have no idea. The only thing I had heard was that everything's backed up at the hospital. Here at daycare, okay, a terror attack just ran into a freaking daycare in Montreal. They say Montreal. It turns out it's actually in Laval, Quebec. And just this guy that lived there. Yeah. I'm not even going to say his name. You guys are going to say I'm racist. Just to let you know that. They went through a daycare, and, you know, some kids wound up under the bus. Very sad situation. Disgusting, actually. Anika, thank you so much. The cheese fund. How do you know I like cheese? I must have said it a lot. What would really happen if all those big sunspots came together? Oh my God. Anika, thank you for the generous contributions. I love you so much for it. That is a very good question. And I'll tell you what, the Carrington event in 1859, that's exactly what happened. It was the spots came together, maybe as big as, I would say, this little flashlight here, probably about as big as that. Like if you're looking at the sun, you know, it was that big a spot. It wasn't excessively big, and it blew everything out here. It electrocuted people on the telegraph lines, and that's the dangers, is when the sunspots, the fields cross over each other. They have field lines that happen. When you look at a sunspot, a lot of people believe that it's UFOs that are landing on the sun, because there's a symmetrical lineup to the sunspots. When you look at it, it looks like somebody's building a building, and you'll see a square. When they cross over each other, it can cause solar flares, large solar storms, and or corona mass ejections, even a flash. And when that happens, it's going to, depending on where it's facing, if it's facing Earth, It's going to reach Earth depending on how big the blast is. It can take a couple of days if it's a coronal mass ejection or solar storms. And leading up to that day, 24 hours or 48 hours, we'd have telephone lines, internet going on and off. Your telephone lines will be working badly. Maybe you'll be talking to someone and it'll go offline. Maybe you'll hear other people talking on the phone, because it all has to do with magnetism. And that is the dangerous thing. It's like saying, imagine your computer is Earth and the sun is a giant magnet that you stick on the computer screen. What happens with your computer screen? Turns blue. All the ink goes to the center. It fucks everything up. Your screen's no more good, and you just break the device. There's lights everywhere, and it's the same thing. That's what the sun does to Earth. So now we got to hope that the magnetosphere is not going to be down when things like that happen. Or the blast in 2014 on the sun, Anika, it would have taken out the entire world's electricity and grids if that would have happened facing Earth. And by chance, we have a chance of having the sun not face Earth when these things happen. But it's not a matter of if it happens, it's a matter of when, because it is going to happen. But even scarier, they don't know when it's going to happen. I'm the best bubblegum chewer. You want to learn about some real stuff instead? Yeah, man, not happy with the system, medical system here. It's a freaking joke. Nick says, yeah, exactly. The snow is melting, says Age Nost. How's it going? Thank you very much. Snow is melting slower because there are stuff in it. Try to put a flame to a snowball and it will hardly melt. A friend in Minneapolis could not melt a snowball with a lighter. Well, the last live stream, we did it. I did the test. It doesn't melt, that's for sure. But aside from being stuff in it, the snow is melting slower. I'll tell you why. The sun's not out. I lasted 3 weeks with ice in our trees. That's never happened to me once in 48 years. Trust me, it doesn't happen. When there's freezing rain in the trees, a couple days after it disappears because there's always sun. If the sun doesn't come out, the ice doesn't melt. I have ice on my roof that's been there for 3 months, and we hardly got any snow. One snowfall 3 weeks ago. Sorry, not 3 months. 3 weeks ago, we got a snowfall. The ice stayed. It didn't melt. We got snow over top of the ice, and it didn't melt. Yesterday, the sun came out for 15, 20 minutes, and all the snow melted. Here in Quebec, there's no snow melting. Well, for sure because of the sun. As for whether it be real snow or fake snow, yeah, sure. Ability of that. I wouldn't be surprised. 2 interstellar comments just passed, and why is no one talking about it? Yeah, well, I did. I talked about it, and that's how it is. We have the 2022 C2022 E3 ZTF that went by. Yes, there's another one going by. There's another one that went by. There's another one coming, also going by. But these objects coming, and with a name like 2022, it's because they just found it. So they come into the solar system because the sun is dragging them in there. I believe the sun is hauling them in past the sun, and they go in a rotation around the sun. The big objects, at one point, some big object could stay. As a matter of fact, maybe that's how the moon got into our solar system. Went around the sun, then it went by Earth, and whoop, Earth kept it, held it there, and it's been there ever since. Yep, absolutely. You're absolutely right. So when somebody goes in there, there's tests that are done. They'll spend 2 or 3 days to do tests, and you wait for the tests to come back. Whole bunch of people working, hundreds of thousands of dollars being sent out to a whole bunch of people for one person. And meanwhile, that person stays in bed and doesn't get any information from the doctor, because that's how stupid the medical system is. For real. like stupid enough for me to want to protest peacefully in front of the hospitals and say, what the fuck are you guys doing? Wake the hell up, you know? So we were all bought, right? All the people, doctors, everyone working there, the police, the military people, they're all bought. They're all bought. They were all bought, like not bots, but paid, right? Do this, do that. They have no choice. They're holding on to their jobs to raise their families and stuff. But there's a lot of people that quit. It's not for nothing. There's no one in the hospitals here. And that's because shit happened. And when it hit the fan, the ones that were awake knew exactly what was going on. But the media just doesn't like talking about that. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Everyone's still there. It's normal. There's less people working. It's always been. No, that's not true. It's not true at all. Make one YT mix your yeah, I often do. Absolutely, NDP. That's what I do with the videos. I go through some somebody asked me old findings, guys. Every video here is from the end of 2016 to today. How old are NASA videos? Very old, but people are still fascinated about the landing. Remember last year or the year before when they came out with the Apollo 11 moon landing remastered, made the images a lot better for people to see. You can't see absolutely anything. You see absolutely nothing up there. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of, Larry, and it's all going to be at the same time. You're absolutely right about that, eh? I could see it now, Shoop, shoop, shoop. The States takes out China's and Russian satellites. Russia and China does the same thing, takes out some of the satellites. And like that spy balloon that we saw going by the States and over North Pole and then over Canada, and Canada just shut their mouths because we're so naive here. The ones running it, the show here, are so naive. Then the spy balloon goes over the States, goes over Montana, goes over Oklahoma City, goes to North Carolina, and then they shoot it down. They retrieved it, apparently. They retrieved it just a couple of days ago. I wonder what that's going to come up as being when and if they talk to us about it. Yeah, we need a new queen here. There, if Darla's not here right now, we need a new queen. It's like we need a queen bee for every hive. Some hives have two bees. Julie, her Prince. That's nice to say though. To help till she returns. Love you, Darla. That's very thoughtful. The real stats. I hope she's looking in. I'm sure she might be. I know about that. Thanks again, Anika. Hospitals in the UK are not much better. I keep away from them, bruh. Third biggest K in the world hospitals. I believe it. 100%. When you're sick and you're going there, it'll make you sicker. It's their goal. It's not hidden. They want to take everyone out, man. Much love to you. The tree hookers are here. Thank you. Shiny Tormentors Gaming World in the house. Welcome. Thanks for being here. I read on the news today about the sun last half off its mass and caused a vortex on top. Surprise if it didn't explode, since it never happened before to a star before. Absolutely. And that's exactly what they're worried about. We got Betelgeuse just blew up 219. Now the sun is doing some of this shit. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. There is a massive explosion, several that are going to happen leading up to 2025, guys. 2025, if we're still here, we'll have one hell of a story for the grandchildren, that's for sure. Hell of a story for the grandchildren, guys. Brian Lee is here. Thank you very much. Texas in the house. I can never get to everybody. I always try. You want to contribute? Every video except for the streams in the description. I always post all the links where people can contribute. There's a thanks button on every video. If you want to thank me, Christmas comes along and you say, hey, Little $2 at Christmas is a beautiful Christmas gift. It's a free channel. That's what's most important here. And the channel only survives because of all the generosity of everyone here and the little bit of ads that people see on my videos. And people tell me, hey, Bruce, I've never seen an ad on your video. Someone will say, Bruce, there's always ads on your video. Not supposed to be. I put them on. Put one on it. 10-minute video, there'll be one. There'll be a second one that pops up. There'll be a 15-second one that you can go through it. So it's not the end of the world. So it's like back in the days when you used to watch Archie Bunker or any show on television. A 30-minute Archie Bunker episode only lasts 12 minutes. The rest is all commercials. So we get less than that here. Grand solar minimum cycle scaring folks. Yeah, well, the minimum cycle was scaring. Imagine now the maximum cycle. It's going to be crazy. Nuremberg Code. Love that name. I'm thinking nukes are a fake, a big scam, and a money siphon. 100% that can be possible. The red flags and the theories that people come up with. You're absolutely right, my friend. Listen, maybe they don't exist for sure. Who would I to be to say, of course they do. You know, they control us with their lies. That's for sure. The hiccups. Will we get EMP like in Fast and Furious movie for the whole Earth and all satellites and electronics gone? I think so. And at the same time, Abinesh, E62, thanks for being here. They could do that and throw that out there at the same time as the sun gives us an EMP attack. China can send out an attack. See, these buggers, this is what's going to happen. An attack can happen. Don't forget when in 1989, when the grid went down here, the first thing that was mentioned in news was Russia. We're so afraid because now the grid's down. They can attack us. There's no way of monitoring where the bombs come from. There's no way of setting off the self-defense system. This is serious stuff. The grid has no protection at all. There's no protection for the grid at all. You know, when tsunamis hit from, if the San Andreas fault line, Karen 18, thank you so much. And I'm sorry that was at 135. I'm sorry, you guys, making you all wait. Yeah, stock in the water. They drilled wells and all along the Outer Route 15 from, hey, that's crazy, man. That's interesting. J'ai entendu parler de ça. I heard that along the Outer Route 15. 100%. I guess that's what they want to do. Hello, Mr. Gate Smasher. Sober for me is being able to coherently have a conversation. John Black is in the house. The U.S. just test fired. Yeah, I saw that. Big. Okay, are you talking about the ICBM towards China as a show of force readiness? Yeah, it's a big shit show. It's a big competition that they're all doing. Yeah, you're right about that. I agree with that. Yeah, that's the goal. So when there's an EMP from the sun, if it doesn't take everything out, China or Russia can let go another EMP attack over top of that one. No one would know until later, or maybe not even at all. Yeah, I get it. It is Grip Ripper. Absolutely prayers for absolutely everyone in Turkey. It's sad. There's nothing left. Nothing left. There's nothing left. Thousands and thousands of buildings that crumbled. Obviously, a lot of people still stuck in that rubble. And it is very, very sad. They were talking about that being an attack, eh? They didn't know if it was an attack. The day before in the sky in Turkey, I don't know if you heard it in the news, it looked like a rose, a flower, yellow outlining, different layers of red, looked like a tuna fish or salmon fish, just this weird flower-like object in the sky. And the very next day, well, this incredible earthquake we had here in Turkey. Dr. Jellyfinger is in the house. All I hear is it's going to happen. How the hell do they know that it's going to? And who the hell is they? That's right. I often talk about them using they. Who are they? Right? Is it the people causing all this? Of course. We talk about that here 100%. Yeah, I got a strike for talking about that, actually. Absolutely, 100%. Turkey will always be in my prayers, of course. Any country, any country that gets trouble. The shit that's going on in Ukraine and Russia, I feel for the people in both those countries. I love them so much. They're not the bad people. No bad Russians. There's no bad Ukrainians. You know, it's like it's the people that are always the innocent ones in all of that. So, yeah. Want to talk about wave? Gravity is a wave, they say, and they concluded this in 2022 or end of 2021, but it could be 2022. The first time they decided that gravity was a wave. We don't even know what gravity is around the planet, which is crazy. Thanks again, Pat. Gate Smasher. Hoorah. Thank you so much. Matt Street in the house. Drone fun or bacon? We'll put in the drone one. Thank you. A bit of bacon, a bit of drone. It'll be amazing having a drone, infrared camera drone, to be able to fly alongside of these mysterious UFOs that come really, really close to me here. Matt Street, thank you very much. I say street. I'm sorry. I just, Yeah, I hear you. Saying it to all my friends, but no one's understanding. Get EMP blast and nothing will work. No satellites, no electronics. Yeah, nobody understands that. And what they understand from that, Abanesh E62, I keep sharing the truth, by the way, spreading the word. That's the only way we can get it out to others. People assume that when everything goes out, I even thought so a couple of years ago, that when everything goes black, it's just that the electricity goes off. No, electricity will still be on, but it won't be able to get out through those lines and through the transmitters and everything, because it's all going to be scrap. Absolutely scrap. Yes, of course, Vibez 369. You're right about that. 100%. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get those. I think something big is going down at the. Hey, wow! I got chilled. I call it too, man. Absolutely, this year, too much symbolic imagery. The last time Rihanna, yes, did the halftime ritual. Yes, it literally was. There was my back and 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 my back. There are no coincidences. Right, you are. Lise, merci beaucoup. Yeah, I disappeared, guys. Don't worry about it. I guess I'm back. They can try and stop the truth, but it has its clever ways to rise to the surface anyhows. Lee's lot Lund Rodek, you are absolutely right about that. Yes, I think they did, Rumble. I think that's what happened. Bruce, go bye-bye. Bruce is back. Crickets are back. I know it. Yep. EMP Canada. Everything, Canadians have a big part in what's going on. That was it. Mention the Super Bowl, and they shut it down. That's all we had to do. Honestly, thanks, Experimental Elemental. I was going to say it. Bad news, an attack actually at the Super Bowl. I was worried about 100%. I even called it by posting it in the community, and you know what? It got taken down. People are getting really, really smart, and these big meeting points and places. For me, I'm done. You're not going to see me at any football games. You're not going to see me at any concerts ever again. No large gatherings. I stay away from large gatherings. I stay away from town centers, and I stay out in the boonies. Got a sore neck. Sheesh. I must have been running out with my telescope the other day. Getting old. Sorry that I disappeared, my friends, for a couple of seconds here. Absolutely, they won't be able to stop it. Hey, Mojo's Mama B. Thanks again for being here. Thanks again for becoming a member. Was Bruce talking about Rihanna and 5PGES SB the other day when he went dark? I was actually when I went dark. Also, the last time we were talking about the same thing, right? Too much truth is. Yeah, everything went. Everything. Yeah, they shite on me as they always do. Did this on Wednesdays. I've live, but he bounced straight back. Yeah, because now, honestly, I have the restore button on Chrome. So when it goes down, they said, "You want to restore your session?" Yeah, and it brings me back into StreamYard, and then I have to go back up because if not, in the past, it fucked up the excuse the expression. It screwed up the live stream where I would have to come back on and make another 1 hour live stream, and it was just making all these bloody live streams for nothing. Yeah, it really does. David, I think there's some good things coming. With what Elon Musk is leaking out, it's all good. Hey, don't worry. I know all about Elon Musk. Of course, he's part of the problem. In the Bible, when they say lukewarm, you can't be lukewarm. And some of those people that I really used to like and cherish, some stupid shit. He's related to the Neuralink. Don't forget, he was assisting in that war by having his satellites up and over Ukraine, but he took it down because apparently they're using him for drone strikes. So there you go. Those in charge in Ukraine and Russia doing the stupid bullshit. When it gets to the point where you can't even say little things like that on the stream, are you freaking serious? It's time for us to stand up and protest peacefully because it's legal. That's what's going to happen in Ottawa on the 17th. The trucker convoy is coming back. Be watching what's going to happen in Canada in a week's time. Shit's going to hit the fan. In the States, they're waiting for the 23rd. Here, we're waiting for the 17th. Raven Quest, thanks for being here. Roger in the house. Yeah, boy, I'm back. That's how they block the truth. They shut you down. So Sunday will be a big day. It will be. It will be a very, very big day. Very, very big day. And he's back. And you're back. Yeah, that happens, unfortunately. Thanks, Julie. Kimberly LaBelle's here. We can fight gravity on a planet that insists love. PJ Hart is like falling, and falling feels like this. Well said. Yeah, I got to catch up. Literally for years, 75%, 90% of people in the world would die. That's how dependent society is on electric. It's scary to think, but it's absolutely true. Now, when a tsunami hits and everything blacks out, all the 200 to 300 active nuclear plants that are all over the world are controlled by electricity with diesel generators that are controlling the pumps that are on ground, by the way, not in ground, to cool the cores and uranium and whatnot, the cylinders. But the problem is, even if they have the generator up, once the tsunamis hit those nuclear plants, the pumps are going to stop, the cores are going to heat up. Can you imagine 300 nuclear cores heating up 1, 2 to 5 to 10 every 35, 20 minutes, half an hour to 45 minutes? It'd be the end of the world. All the water contamination, radiation would be sitting in that water, would be going back into the water. Darkness all around the earth. Oh my gosh. It's just crazy. It's all survivable, guys. It's absolutely completely survivable, depending on what you do as a job, depending on where you're going to be. If you're a pilot and you're flying a commercial jet over California, you're going to land, you're headed towards China or something, you're over the ocean and everything goes down, the plane, nobody's going to help you. The plane is going to crash. There's no GPS. It doesn't mean it's going to crash, but I don't know if you guys know it. Nobody flies Boeing planes. Nobody by hand lands a Boeing plane. It's all programs. It's all autopilot. Okay. They say an autopilot is just to help them. No, it's what flies the bloody plane. Plane's registered to go to a certain area. Once all that stops and computers and controls, all you need is 7 seconds for the nose of the plane to dive down. You're screwed by the time they take control of the planes. And it's not to scare people. It's that's what's going to happen. People are wondering, well, what are we going to see? Well, it would be devastating hearing in the news that volcanoes and nuclear plants just exploded. And at the same time, hearing in your town that there are 2 down Boeing planes in your town that destroyed houses. Imagine how devastating that is. We're talking about 2 little events out of the whole entire world and all the countries. It's going to be devastating when it happens, and it's going to happen quickly. I never understood what the looting was about. Does that make any sense to you, that the world's going down, so everyone's going to start looting and stuff? I wouldn't have that mentality. I really wouldn't have that mentality. I don't know why. I don't even know why people think that that's something that could actually happen. But it's a little odd. Well, they took me down, the little buggers. I want to see something here. So yeah, by the way, they just found 12 new moons around Jupiter. So Jupiter's the planet that has the most moons now in the solar system. For those of you who didn't hear that the last stream. Another thing is, I noticed they're talking about Earth's atmosphere. When a meteor or meteorite, it's a meteor until it hits the ground. When it becomes a meteorite, everything, all the traces that are inside those meteorites that are here on Earth, it's basically pretty much destroyed by the atmosphere. The atmosphere puts salt in it and everything. Apparently, they're talking about this. It's like we're at the beginning of time now, and they're coming out with all this news. This is something that they knew long before. I know it for a fact. Europe's going to be going to the moon with new programs in 2027 also. Get your hydrogen fuel cell from the stock markets. They have a stock now for hydrogen. Oh boy, they're going to be trying to invest money to go do dark projects out there again. So the bad news, a Russian satellite broke into pieces, littering debris in space. This isn't the first time. The first time the breakup occurred was January 4th. Actually, it's the second breakup on January 4th. So this is a Russian Cosmos, KOSMOS, 2499 satellite broke up last month. Mods, check the trolls, for a second time. So it is the second time. According to the Space Force's 18th Space Division Squadron, in a recent tweet, the Space Force said they are currently tracking 85 individual pieces of debris at an altitude of, like I said, over 1,000 kilometers. Yeah, 1,169 kilometers, which is 720 some miles up. The breakup occurred on January 4th, 2023, second breakup, but the reason for the disintegration remains unknown. So for some reason, this object began disintegrating itself and they have no idea. You're hearing a lot about science now saying we have no idea what's going on, right? At this high altitude, it will take decades for the debris to deorbit and burn up. Decades, guys. Like imagine you blow up one freaking rocket, it blows up twice because that's exactly what happened as we read a bit further down. That debris is going to cause debris for the rest of your life and a part of your child's life. You know, it's always going to be there. Debris is located in an increasingly busy region in Earth's orbit. So it's a busy region also. That means it's probably where the space station is floating around and stuff. At one point, it's going to happen. It's going to hit the space station. But this is, like I said, actually the second breakup event of Cosmos 2499. Oh, what a sore neck. I did some shadow boxing, guys, yesterday. It's the best thing. And it has nothing to do with the space thing. I did some shadow boxing yesterday for an hour and a half, and big shadow boxing, you know, and getting the arms going and stuff like that, moving my sides left and right. So it's a good sign that I'm sore this morning. I wanted to get the exercise going, but I'm telling you guys, this I think you have to keep exercising so you don't get sore every time you exercise. So this is actually the second breakup of Cosmos 2499, Russian crap floating around. Fragmentation occurred on October 23rd, 2021. There was the first time, according to Jonathan McDowell, an astronomer at the Harvard Smithsonian. I get itchy when I talk about them. Center for Astrophysics, who also tracks space debris. Oh, great. Harvard tracking space debris. How many lies are going to tell us? That event created 22 pieces of trackable debris, which is now up to 80 some pieces, by the way. This satellite has had a curious history. Russia quietly launched Cosmos, always quietly, 2499 on May 23rd, 2014, but tracking indicated the satellite performed unusual maneuvers, like the spy balloon, leading some to speculate that it may be an experimental anti-satellite weapon, satellite maintenance vehicle, or collector of space debris. However, an article published on the official Moscow Institute of Physics, itchy again, and technology website indicated the satellite was designed to test experimental plasma propulsion engines, ion thrusters. Right. Both the first and now second breakup event was thought to be caused by an explosion that the propulsion system Leo Labs Incorporated, a commercial provider of low Earth orbit mapping and tracking, also tweeted about the current situation, saying that their analysis points towards a low intensity explosion due to the asymmetry of the debris cloud, magnitude of the velocity imparted, and doesn't it? It pisses me off when you're reading a post and it just these words, you know, due to the asymmetry of the debris cloud, magnitude of the velocity of the imparted fragments. It's not made easily for you to understand what the hell they're talking about, honestly. And a known energetic source on board the propulsion system. So it's still working. So this downed or broken rocket since 2014 booster could still have been going around, you know, looking broken, like sort of like Oumuamua, the way it's traveling through space. Anyways, totally ridiculous. See, I gathered all my posts here together to be able to talk about them, and they're all scattered now. More lunar missions means more space junk around the moon. So two astronomers are building a catalog to track all the trash between Earth and the moon. Scientists and government agencies have been worried about the space junk. So they've been talking about it for years, right? Surrounding Earth for decades, yeah. But humanity's starry ambitions are farther reaching than the space just around Earth. Ever since the 1960s, with the launch of Apollo program, even though they didn't go or didn't show us how they went, and the emergence of the space race between the US and the Soviet Union, we're back in the second race now, people have been leaving trash around the moon too. Today, experts estimate that there are a few dozen pieces, of space junk like spent rocket bodies, defunctional satellites. Of course, we heard of a Russian one just a couple of months ago, and mission related debris orbiting in cislunar space around the moon instead of around the moon. The space between Earth and the moon and the area around the moon. While this isn't yet a large amount of junk, there's more around Earth. Astronomers have very little information about where these pieces of space debris are, let alone what they are and even how they got there. Right. Right. That's historically NASA and the US military have not closely tracked space debris. From the many dozens of crewed and robotic missions to the moon, there is no international agency that has monitored lunar objects either. I beg to differ on that. We got the space station, the Space Force, and some people related to the Space Force and the Navy have actually been tracking debris in 2021. Started out with maybe 16,000 pieces, went up to many thousands of pieces, and it's just growing all the time because they're sending more and more shit out there in space, which is definitely not good. The lack of information about human-made objects orbiting the moon poses many risks for lunar missions. First is the risk of collision. Humanity is at the beginning of a new wave of lunar exploration. It won't go too far, you watch. Might even be set back, these Artemis programs. Over the next 10 years, 6 countries and several commercial companies have plans for more than 100 missions. With every mission, the risk of a collision with existing debris increases, and so too does the total amount of debris as missions leave junk behind. And it's something really scary as hell, guys, because the rocket that collides with another object will cause a debris field from the object it hit, and the object that got hit, like the Russian satellite or a rocket booster, will cause debris going one way and scattering out, like vice versa. And every time they hit each other, there's a wider, bigger debris field of smaller pieces as these pieces break down from ginormous pieces to dust particles and whatnot. I could only imagine. I'm surprised that there's any light coming from the bloody sun with all the crap that we have around Earth. Here's an interesting one. The world's largest radio telescope, if you don't know which one that is, it's the one in China that they built in the mountain. And it looks literally like a bloody moon crater with the towers beside it, because that's what you see when you look at the craters close up on the moon. They look like lunar craters, these radio telescopes. The world's largest radio telescope just scanned 33 exoplanets looking for a signal from aliens. They're talking about it more and more. Honestly, the 500 meter aperture spherical telescope called FAST, this is located in China, is currently the world's largest and most sophisticated radio observatory. While its primary purpose is to conduct large-scale neutral hydrogen surveys, the most common element in the universe, study pulsars and detect fast radio bursts, right? FRBs, they are of the strongest emissions of energy anywhere in the universe ever recorded. While many potential techno signatures have been proposed since the first surveys began in the 1960s, radio transmissions are still considered the most likely and remain the most studied. In a recent survey, an international team of SETI researchers conducted a targeted search for 33 exoplanet systems using a new method they call the MBCM. It's the blind search mode. It's basically what I'm doing. While the team detected two special signals. So now they tell us special signals. Let me tell you what they mean by special signals. It's someone talking to them from space that they're going to characterize as special, right? Using this mode, they dismissed the ideal that they were transmissions from an advanced species. Oh, good. Thank God that we have these lying scientists out there letting us know what the hell's going on. Nevertheless, their survey demonstrated the effectiveness of this new blind mode and could lead to plausible candidate signals in the future. So let's see here. If we go down a little lower to see if they who they actually reach and not just listen to this bullshit. Single dish radio telescopes observe a small portion of the sky known as a beam, which is about the size of the tip of a pencil, so they say, held at arm's length. Despite their accuracy, these telescopes often pick up interference from nearby terrestrial sources. Now they're going to pass it off again as I hate the bullshit, guys. Yes, the radio telescopes are sensitive. Sometimes the houses and towns that are around these rare towns that are around these radio telescopes, the people that work there at the radio telescope agency have to call someone special to go out into the town to look at what type of disturbance or noise is happening on the ground. I am not kidding. There's a farm close to a radio telescope at one point that had a heating pad that was outside for one of his animals or farm animals, or maybe his dog or her dog, to stay warm. And they had that pad in the dog house that was emitting a pulse sound. So it was going on and off, on and off, on and off. And the radio telescope picked it up. So they went, to see them. They can hear snowflakes falling out of the sky, the sound it makes when it crashes onto the ground. So these telescopes are very, very highly sensitive, but they're getting messages and signals outside in space, I believe, and they're not telling us. We know Arecibo telescope, remember that one, was taken down a year before it was contacted by something or someone in space and received an incredible message or signal that kept repeating itself. Well, Arecibo, something happened. There was an accident where a part fell through, a platform fell through right through the center of the bloody telescope. It was supposed to be taken off the next day and disassembled. And that night, it fell and destroyed and went right through the telescope and absolutely destroyed it. So whether it be deliberate or not, whether they be hiding the message out there, it's like, oh my gosh, it remains intriguing. It remains exciting. A part of the sun's surface. We're finally going to get to it. Sorry for making you wait on that one. So, literally, a piece of the sun breaks off. So, it's being explained different ways. Some people say it's, the sun detached apart. Some people here are saying, this is the Post, New York Post. A piece of sun breaks off and stuns scientists. So, I'm going to pause this. Come on. No, I don't want to sign up to your forum. Pause, please. All right. If the volume starts screaming out, we'll know why. So a piece of sun breaks off and stuns scientists. Very curious. Doesn't want to pause the piece of. Okay, there we go. Pause. Scientists were left baffled after material broke off of the sun's surface and created a tornado like swirl around its northern pole. Pretty drastic, too. The remarkable phenomenon was caught by NASA on the James Webb Space Telescope and tweeted by Dr. Tamitha Skov, a space weather forecaster. Talk about polar vortex. Okay. Um, Material from a northern prominence, a solar activity, just broke away from the main filament and is now circulating in a massive polar vortex around the North Pole of our star. What the hell is going on? Implications for understanding the sun's atmospheric dynamics cannot be overstated. I guess not. The unusual actively the unusual activity was captured by NASA James Webb Telescope. They're repeating themselves. Unusual activity, typically occurs at the sun's 55-degree latitudes once every 11 years. And they talk about a sun cycle having 11 years. In reality, nobody knows this. Not many people know this. I do now. The sun cycle is actually not 11 years. It's actually 22 years, where 11 years it goes one way and 11 years it comes back another way. According to experts, but this incident is stumping researchers. So, a prominence is a large, bright feature that extends outwards from the sun's surface. Other filaments tear away, have been observed in the past, but never like the one that they just witnessed recently. Solar physicist Scott McIntosh, the deputy director at the National Center for Atmospheric Research in Colorado, told Space.com that researchers aren't sure what causes such a unique event at all. That's scary stuff when they don't know why these things are formed or are caused. Once every solar cycle, it forms at the 55-degree latitude, like I said, and it starts to march up to the solar poles, McIntosh said. It's very curious as to why it did it this way this time. There is a big why question around it. Why does it only move towards the pole? Are they stupid? And one time and then disappear and then come back. Right. Magically, 3 or 4 years later in exactly the same region. Magnetism is the only thing I'm going to say. Everything's affected by the poles. When shit happens here on Earth, it's going to happen in the South Pacific Ocean. I was going to point at my globe, as I've been saying for a year and a half now. Tonga, Canary Islands, Japan, China, in the southern hemisphere, the equators are going to change place. The equators are going to go where the poles are, and the poles are going to move over where the equators are. So have you noticed in your town or in your country or around you, the weather patterns are shifted and they're off to one side a bit more further, or maybe they're closer to you? This is what's going, is all these changes. It's all these changes are happening. While experts admit it probably has nothing to do with the sun's magnetic field, the rest the rest remains a mystery due to humanity's limited view of its star. Those just arriving, I'm talking not just bullshit. I'm talking about something huge that just happened, that they're talking about our sun, which just launched a piece of its photosphere, that's the surface of the sun, off and created a hell of a vortex over the northern pole. What's happening? European Space Agency's solar orbiter mission, which is taking photos of the sun while raising its orbit beyond the eclipse plane, might provide answers, but until then, researchers are left scratching their heads. So experts have observed solar projections fairly often, such as last year's solar flares that threatened to impact Earth. I remember that. Such projections could disrupt GPS systems, like the planes, like you all know, the power grids, and they're keeping it basics. Like, it could affect the power grids. It could affect many things related pertaining to the power grids, right? And even radio signals, which very recently, just a couple of days ago, some radio signals radio signal problems because of the very recent sunspot of the sun right now that's very active. It's sun's active today too. I didn't see it with my own eyes, but I went online to see it. It's pretty bad. Although there's no way to precisely predict how this solar vortex would affect our planet or even why it happened, we just go with basic physics and mathematical equations, assumptions, theories. Just this month, the sun projected multiple powerful flares that disrupted communication right here on Earth, guys. This is according to space.com. Although it appeared to be otherwise harmless, the sun is en route to reaching its peak of activity during the current 11-year cycle in 2025. It's a 22-year cycle, but it doesn't matter. They don't mention that. So that's scary stuff. Definitely scary stuff. David Donlin in the house. Kimberly LaBelle Burns here. Susan Ravella and Roe. Thank you. You said it. I was saying Roe to keep you guys. Yes, Rocky and Susan in Ohio. I love you guys. Thank you very much for being here. Heads up. Be looking for those balloons, spy balloons. Punctured Ball is here at last. Got you live. Love your truth. Thanks so much, man. And truth is our greatest weapon. It really is. I agree with that. Louis Pepin, merci d'être revenu. Thanks for coming back, Louis. Susan, is Alberta really trying to become 51st state, or is that just a rumor? I don't even like hearing about that, Susan. That's a little scary. I've always said, the United States of Canada, basically what's going on. I don't know if you guys and gals heard that. It's quite a few years ago. I was young, actually. There was talk a long time ago in politics in all of our countries about them wanting to fusion Canada, the United States, and Mexico together as one region. That's a little scary. It's like one big concentration camp in an area. It could be rumors, Susan and Rocky, but I've heard something related to that, though. Not sure about what happened the next day, but Shadow 71, absolutely. The Grammy Awards, they just literally let everybody know that they were satanic, right? That's exactly what happened. Rituals. It's horrible. It's horrible what's going on. A lot of people are seeing everything. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, me really was a shadow boxing this time. Good exercise, really good exercise. You big guys, I shadow boxed the hell out of for an hour and a half yesterday, which is good. A little bit of walking. I want to maintain this. I mean, everything happening at the same time. There's lots going on here. My family side also, when I come on with a smile and I come on and how's everybody doing? I'm doing great. Let's do this. It's my full-time job doing this. But sometimes we have low days and high days, but it doesn't stop me from posting. I really appreciate the comments that you are all leaving here. Let's try something. My videos never get to over 100 comments. I think it's a little odd. The same way, look, there's 100 people watching right now. That's how it is. I'm sort of limited. So in your next video, and not everybody comments, I don't even comment on all the videos I watch. Can you do an effort? Because I want to see if we can get over 100 comments. I've done this over 800,000 times, asked people to get to 200 comments. I've not been successful once in 200 years, because that's how long I feel like I've been here. Once in 6 years. 6 years of research completed on this channel. For those that didn't know, did you know that I've been here for 6 whole years through Christmas, winter, summer, or fall? All you got to do is call. I'm here posting the videos. It's being held back from a whole bunch of people. The subscribers, I just did it again in the community. I posted, guys, thanks so much. January 23rd, we'll be at 96.4. We are February 10th. So for the past 3 weeks, 0 subscribers, it's blocked. They do that every second or third month, because this channel, we would be at over probably 175,000 now. The last video in my algorithm, YouTube told me I'm getting more views than I've ever gotten on any video, and the video's at 2,000 views, and it stopped a couple days ago. So what's happening? If YouTube's telling me that I'm getting an excessive amount of views, and Social Blade is saying that I got 300 views that day, what's happening? They're stealing views. They're stealing revenue and views from me all the time. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I have this one little room here, which is the bathroom. It's actually the teleportation room. I like setting up a little office here in the corner. And that's what I do. I can only stream when we're landed. If not, you'd see me, shifting around and stuff. I'd be going all over the place. Oh, yes. I'll do like Alex Jones. I gotta love Alex. Joel, yeah. Were they playing the harp? I think they were playing the harp. And I'm not talking about the harmonica harp, the blues harp. Turkey. They're worried about the Americans having caused this, an attack by using harp. And what's going to happen? Will there ever be an attack at HARP or at CERN? Shit's going to hit the fan at one point. Like those guide stones blew up? Yeah. Little things are going to happen. Jeff Walker in the house. Thank you so much. I'm lesser class than you, Kai. Does the wrench symbol mean moderator? What are EMT protectors means a lot to me. Orfeo Trushella, thanks for being here again. Yeah, boy. I heard that only 70% of the world's pop are humans, and that would make sense. That would make sense, Lise. Rest is either synthetics, clones, or backdrop people. Makes sense. And of course, don't forget the little holograms that they add. Like they couldn't add it. Like they're not going to have a holographic person walking on the street, but in the sky, they could have holographic planes here and there added. Those videos where those are interesting videos. Some videos, and some are fake, of course, probably most of them, where you see there's a whole bunch of people, then all of a sudden a car is crossing a highway or a four-corner light. Then all of a sudden another car shows up. Maybe it pisses me off is that people make fake videos and then try to pass them off for real. And you know what? That's like the pathetic trolls, like the little shit channels that come here that are all dead now. They're channels that trying to get the monopoly of people to go to the channels to look at UFOs. Nobody gets a UFO every day, not even me. So it's easy to fake a UFO or to film a plane. And look at all the videos that are on YouTube that people say, oh, look, a UFO in the sky, and it's flashing. If it's flashing, guys, it ain't a UFO. Remember the gimbal and the fast UFO and all those 3 UFOs that were leaked with Jeremy Corbell, supposedly, and a Navy pilot? That was found out in 2014. The Black Vault had been working on that for years to try to declassify that. They're saying that those videos that they admitted to was leaked. The government did not in any way want to show the Tic Tac or gimbal and all those UFOs at all. The one where they go, woo, he's flying in the wind at 30 knots, 40 knots. Look at him go. Look at him go. Hey, look at that thing go. Those were leaked videos that were not supposed to come out. 100%, so they say. Yeah, that's bullshit too. It's a platform here where we make money only with ads. And when you come on to my channel, they'll ask you, for a premium price, you and 6 of your family members can watch these videos without any ads. What the fuck? What the hell is that about? How are we going to make any money? If people take a premium on my channel, I think it'll maybe give me $2. It might, if you want to take a premium and not have any ads. But honestly, the ads are not excessive. People that know me well enough on the live streams of 2 hours, I put an ad before you start. Then I move up to the hour mark and I drop another ad there. There'll be one or two there. That's all you're going to get. If there's a problem that YouTube is plastering ads on it, you leave it in the comment section. Whoops, glitch, Bruce, getting too many ads on here. You probably won't believe it, but I'm going to go into my monetization and I'm going to take them off. Remember, I don't know if not everybody knows it, but a couple of months ago, that's what happened here. I had to go over 3 months of videos that YouTube plastered 100 to 300 ads on 1 2-hour live stream. So that means a minute and a half of a video, then 18 ads, a minute and a half of a video, then 18 ads. I wasn't getting any views. People are always trying to sabotage this channel. So if you want to know about disclosure, this is the channel to be at, because I'm disclosing a part of the truth anyways on the moon. There's so much shit going on up there. And now with the UFOs that I'm seeing here too. Ladies and gents, it's already 3 o'clock. I'm going to have to get off. I will be back on in a couple of hours at 8 o'clock. So in 5 hours, I will come back on. We can talk about a whole bunch of stuff again. I'll be looking in the news again, see what's going to happen this afternoon. Never know. Something can happen on the sun. Maybe another explosion. Yes, Stephanie. Sorry for being so late. 2:26. So sorry. Yeah, absolutely. Another trucker convoy coming for February 17th in 7 days. As a matter of fact, the truckers are fueling up now. They're ordered their flags. All the flags are there. They'll be getting some new equipment for their dogs and little shoes to keep warm, little baskets to have them sleep in their cabs like they peacefully did the last time. But here's the good news. It's going to be very warm in 7 days. It's getting warmer. So that's a good thing, getting warmer. You know, when those things happen, it's a very crucial moment, because let's say there's the protest here at all the trucker convoy, and this is confirmed there, Stephanie. Thanks for being a member, Stephanie. When that happens, if one other event happens at the same time as that, like a blackout, could you imagine what it would do? Because the truckers aren't going to leave. You know, we have our idiotic, pathetic mule of an excuse of a man, Justin Trudeau, okay, who enforced the Emergency Act, which has never been enforced before, right, for his own fame and game, to be able to protect them. And that gave him control over the military, gave him control over the police stations. And I don't know if you all remember, but the Ottawa police station, everyone quit, including the chief. Everyone quit that. I don't think people wanted to arrest innocent, peacefully protesting people. Then all of a sudden, whoop, some UN planes landed. And then all of a sudden, whoop, Ottawa police people were back. But they didn't look very, very much like they were from here, though. That's basically what happened. They had the police and military holding guns and spraying us with, pepper spray and everything. Peaceful protesters and kids on the grass, playing hockey and playing ball. It was a beautiful time, actually, at the Ottawa protest. I find very, very beautiful time. He called us terrorists. I'm never going to forget that piece of shit. Trudeau called me a terrorist, called me a domestic terrorist, real terrorist. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see how you feel on February 17th. I guarantee you, Justin, your hair is going to be completely white by March 1st. Hair will be completely white, because Justin Trudeau, it is not very popular when he goes out on walks with his 95 bodyguards that he hires to go get $50 donuts. Orfeo Treschelite, thank you so much for that. Yes, wouldn't be surprised. Maybe he's the cousin of Mark Zuckerberg or Zuckerman. Never know if it's Zuckerberg or Zuckerman. In a way, I'm glad Turkey didn't have up and running. Oh my God. Yeah. Listen, Stargazer. Yeah, absolutely. I hope they're all okay. I hope it's not an attack on their country, and much respect to everyone there. 100%. Even Syria. We went to war with them. It's not the people that are bad. It's not the people that are bad. Never is. Yep, you're right about that. Could be Stephanie. He's an alien. Eyes wide open. Thanks for coming back, you guys. Sorry for the little glitches where it disappeared. I disappeared for a couple of seconds. Yeah, you got to wonder, is he like the black sheep of them? we have to be kidding around. It's what makes us, you know. Yes, exactly, Lise, because I have a soul. When they thought that the planes would fall. Yeah, listen, Grid Ripper, it was bad. Yeah, but we got away with it. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I remember there was, yeah. 2000 bug. Right. I get it. Yeah. So in reality, it's because it was planned, right? So somebody said, oh my God, they planned this. So it's going to happen. Yes, they planned it, but it wasn't necessarily that moment that it was going to happen. But I remember a power outage, says Norma C, in the 70s with lots of looting. It made me want to avoid cities. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Only a certain people see opportunity and disaster. Yeah, a certain sick race, Ryan. Coincidentally, those same people happen to destroy anywhere they inhabit, making it unsafe for any decent person or people. Thanks for being here, Bern. Yeah, man. Colorado. Hey, guys, I am getting off. I'm absolutely getting off. I suggest all you American friends to head this way. And anyways, don't forget to head east when the San Andreas fault line starts to shake. There's talk about it happening. So be safe. If you're in California on the fault line, you can live. Do you know that most people die in earthquakes because of the falling furniture and objects on the ceilings and because they are in apartment buildings? And you go outside and you go far away from any falling trees or houses. And, you know, if the ground doesn't open up a crevice and suck your ass in, you'll be okay to live. Everybody can live. It's that the situation is that certain people are going to be locked in the buildings, not going to be able to have access to get out and stuff. And the way I saw the buildings in Turkey crumble, horrible. Must have been very devastating for the people there. It's devastating looking at it online. It's a lot worse, you know, seeing it. So Patricia Parker's here. Kimberly LaBelle, thanks again, you guys. Absolutely have some beautiful sky shots and a base, a poster of a base that I took a picture of on your wall. There's the link there. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting off. Adios. Salut. Patricia, I am Kai. Division's a weapon against weak minds. It is. That's why they want to divide us. Shit's coming, man. Things are going to change. Everyone, I love you so much. And to all that I missed the comments, forgive me. I'll be back on in a couple of hours. It's 3:00 right now. I'll be back on at 8:00 Eastern Time, PM, in 5 hours for another 2-hour stream. And then I'll get a video up for you all. Thanks so much for contributing, guys, for being a member. If you're here commenting, if you're here leaving a comment, you're definitely contributing to the channel. And if you haven't seen the last video, please go check it out. We've got real UFOs on the moon and things that they're staying hush hush about. God bless everyone. Oh wow, that's I stuck that one in there. I don't say that very often. Maybe it's because we need some of God's protection right now. I always imagine a white light around me, protecting me, and I don't buy into the devil. I don't believe in the devil. I believe I killed him. And that's what everybody has to think. When you're at home there in the afternoon, you know that the elites are doing bad stuff. It doesn't cost you a cent to have a thought that they're going to be abolished. Send some energy. If you visually imagine energy leaving your body that's from the Father, going, yes, I'm serious, going to an area where you want to heal. Maybe you want to send energy to Turkey to heal the people that are in the buildings that are dying, give them some warmth and some love. Energy exists, and we should be distributing that energy. We should be aligning our energies all together to literally take out the cabal, just with our minds. And that's how crazy I am. I believe that just thinking about these events, as a matter of fact, someone told me the other day, and I believe it as a theory, maybe every single event that happens are and is only happening in this matrix, in this game, based on what we're thinking of. When evil happens, maybe it's because someone has an evil thought. So have some good positive thoughts and bring back the world that we once had. I like the world when it was going bad, but not when it was really going bad, right? All right. Anyways, thanks a lot, everybody. And you have no idea how much it means to me for you all to take the time to come to the live streams. And a lot of you come back over and over, time and time again. Thanks for the generous contributions. Thanks, mods. I'll talk to you all at the 8 o'clock stream. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye for now.